your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 Party, I'm a real go-getter. Rock a fur coat, but it's not chinchilla. Who's that dude with the master plan? It's Mr. Pinecone with the mic in my hand. I ball on a budget, got a bag full of nuggets. Living life to the fullest before I'm kicking the bucket. No time for the haters, I'm the meat and potatoes. I'm the product of Anunnaki and godly invaders. You wanna go down the rabbit hole? Well, come along with me. Let me phone comb. Let me take you on the trip to the Pleiades or the Seven Seas. We can sail them all. Bring your dungarees and your toothbrush, your knapsack. We'll have a nightcap, then I'll bring you back. Mr. Pinecone's come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great morning. Happy New Year. My name is Bleaves. This is Breakfast with Bleaves. And, man, I've been sick. I've been sick as a dog for the last bunch of days. So I hope everybody's okay. Hope you're well. I came in. I tried to give it a go on Friday, and I got progressively worse. And I went still going through it, but feeling a whole lot better. Hopefully this is the end of it, and hopefully I can move on and not have to struggle and deal with it, because it's been kind of a pain. Was not COVID related, by the way. H3N2V is what I think it was called. It was a flu variant. So it's, unbelievable. So Acehole Crypto, what is going on? Maddie B in the house, what is going on? Funny Animal Videos, how are you doing? Martin, what's going on? Jonathan, Peter J, good morning. Daniel Volt, Juicy, what's going on? Daniel, what's happening? Germs, I did not see that, but I will look at it in a little bit. What's up, Jeff T? Modi Kind in the house. BRL is here. Ghost, what is going on? Kit Unisick. What is going on? Repping the Shy. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, and I hope everybody who was watching last night, I hope your hearts are poured out for DeMar Hamlin. That was one of the craziest scenes that I've seen in the history of football. So I really just don't know what to say there, and I hope this guy has a speedy recovery. It's my understanding from the notes that we've received through the evenings in the morning that DeMar Hamlin is on life support right now. And that they don't really have an answer other than that he remains in critical condition. Also, Jeremy Renner 2 days ago apparently had a wreck or something on his own snowplow. If you don't know, I think he's got he's South Dakota. He's got a ranch or something like that. He's doing his own snow plowing, and he's always posted videos about it on Instagram, stuff like that. Well, apparently he fell off of his snowplow or something like that. And then the snowplow ran over him. He got in some kind of accident with it, and it crushed his chest. And he's had 2 emergency surgeries right now. So wishing Jeremy Renner and Hawkeye all the best too, because that's kind of crazy. You never know when something tragic might befall. So it's just one of those crazy things, and those things happening back to back. Those are no joke. So wishing everybody the best, and hopefully this new year is going to make us all rich enough that we'll make sure that we're hire our own snow blowers and stuff like that, so that kind of shit doesn't happen to us. But so we're going to start off by looking at what I think is very important, the stock market futures today. It is right here. We're looking at 158 to the upside on the Dow, 24 on the S&P, and then 100 on the NASDAQ. We'll see how that plays out during the course of the day. But it's starting to feel like there's a few good signs in the air. So I think that we might start to see some positive momentum. Again, I've made some calls, and we're going to talk about those calls in just a few minutes because I do want to get into them. And we've got some news that we're going to go over. And I kept it light, fewer articles. I feel like I'm reading too much to you guys instead of engaging and stuff like that. So just kind of moving around, keeping the format different, trying to work through this whole process. So the overall market, as you can see right here, doesn't look, you know what, let's throw in 30, 60, 90, and then year to date. Let's throw them all in here, and then let's hit refresh and see what happens here. What's it look like? Ew, gross. Let's do custom, and then let's add this all in here. And then apply. Let's see what happens when we do that. Nothing. God damn it. Oh, well. I tried. But we looked at, I'm going to work on that, see if I can get that to include up here. But I think I want to track. There's a lot of people talking about a 1,400% pump coming for crypto. A lot of people calling for a 70% dump in crypto. So, we'll see how this month or this year plays out. We're still early. And overall in crypto, we're early in the game, even though some dildo out here the other day just said that he doesn't think that we're going to have bull runs or anything anymore. I mean, listen, there's always an outlier. There's always a person out there who says that we're not going to have something, and they're never right. But the market is the market. It works as, look, we have the same thing in bull. We have the same thing in, what do you call it? In the stock market. So that's just crazy and nonsense for people to be talking that way. Overall in the market, just a kind of a mixed bag of everything. Doge down, BNB down, ETH and Bitcoin up. USDT came unpegged, by the way. Tether depegs from $1 despite ongoing broader market jump. Tether, the largest stablecoin in the digital ecosystem, has been trading at a price below its designated benchmark of $1 in a move generally known as depegging. At the time of writing, Tether is trading at 99.98 cents, atop a market capitalization of more than $66 billion, aiding it to maintain its position as the third largest crypto by market cap. Although the currently depegged trading price of USDT is not affecting the outlook, related slips below the designated $1 peg do not typically take longer to correct. However, according to the chart, the depegging of the stablecoin below $1 has been since December 27. So something is going on with Tether over there. I would recommend making a move. I've moved to USDC, by the way. I did that a few months ago. So we'll I'll recommend that you guys do that too. And if we're going over here, the old ETH is ETH Classic. Is there a different original ETH than ETH Classic that we're talking about? Because I just did the history of Ethereum and I went through the whole process. So if there's an original ETH that's old, we'll look at it, but I don't know any other ones other than the original Ethereum, which is ETH Classic, and then the fork, which was the new Ethereum chain. And if so, they both kind of travel together anyway. So when one goes from 14 to 16, like when it has a little bit of a pump, it's also had a gigantic dump. So, I don't, if there's something else, let me know. But anyway, Bitcoin AI, it just launched. It's called Old ETH. Oh, okay. Sure. Let's do that. Old ETH. Why not? launched a day ago. Old Ethereum. It looks like a rug pull to me. Yeah, it's anything called old Ethereum is somebody trying to pull a game on something. I mean, you're just trying to monetize some other some other Ethereum. So yeah, I'm going to say that this is not that's not a real thing. How about this? If you feel like you need to buy old Ethereum, just buy Volt instead. You know what I mean? And then you'll be fine. If you don't want to buy Volt, buy BRL, and you'll be just fine. If you don't do that, buy anything else, because it's not like until it's a blockchain, until it does something, it doesn't do anything. What's up, Crypto Hound? Anyway, so the Bitcoin AI predicts the Bitcoin price for January 31 of 2023, and 2022 was not favorable, blah, blah, blah. What could the price be on January 31st? The machine learning algorithm predicted that the Bitcoin pricing could be 15,532 on January 31, 2023. All right, so let me also kind of point out here, if you have to look at Twitter and then go to that chart in order to figure out how to invest or how to buy something, it's not going to happen. That's not how that's not how getting rich is going to work. Like it should be easy. You should be able to just log in. You should be able to just type it in. You should be able to find it, and boom, there it is. So, and if you can't do that, then no, that's a little crazy. The AI's prediction claimed that the Bitcoin price could decrease by 7%. Therefore, Bitcoin's price could remain bearish in January and bullish in the next 4 weeks. So I don't know which AI we're using. I don't know whether it's a big deal or not yet. So what I think is going to happen is, let's go over here to my Bitcoin chart and let's zoom out to the day. And this is what I'm saying is going to happen. All right, so during the week of January 16th, that's kind of our D day. I appreciate that, Kenneth. Yeah, these guys, it's crazy what happened. So January 16, there's a trend line. Okay, now this trend line is this blue line that you see right here. And I guess maybe I should change the color of it so that it's not like all the others. We're going to call that the red. We're going to make that a red one, and we're going to make that a 4-point so that it's clear to see. Okay, so this trend line has been respected for about 5 years now, right? Going all the way back here. This has been respected all this time. This dip right here didn't last for more than 24 hours and was brought back into line, meaning it didn't invalidate that line, okay? And every time we hit it, you can see right here, it bounces heavy. We hit it right here. It bounced. Then we hit it again, and it bounced even heavier. And these were the start of bull rallies. These were the start of bull rallies. This one, we hit this line right here, and it started this right here. Now, of course, when I'm looking at this, by the way, these are day charts. So there's a lot of days involved in all of these, because when I look at this one, I'm looking at this move right here is December of 2018, and this is the middle of January, and then it comes back down and it hits February, and it doesn't peak until June. So these are months of positive trend lining. So we're about to hit that one more time, and here we are. As you can see right here, like we're getting closer and closer and closer to it as the days go by. So sometime in this week, we're going to hit that spot. And when we hit that spot right in here, something tends to happen, right? Now, the options are And shit, I just wrote wrong. But the options are pretty simple. I mean, we're either going to pump, and if we pump, then the last time we did a pump like that, this is a little bit over aggressive for me. Like I don't really think that this is the way that it plays out, right? But I think it would be more like this here if it does anything. Because I'm at first I thought, maybe we could get into this golden pocket. That's wishful thinking. What I think is we're going to hit this, we're going to start a bounce, and that bounce would last right to about here. So yeah, if we have a relief bounce like that, then 18.9, maybe we touch this top here at about 22.5 or 21.5, 22, somewhere around there. That's the maximum sort of relief that I think we end up getting. Now, the other part is, as you go down here and you start to look at, well, where do we go otherwise? Well, the answer is unfortunately way down. And the best inkling that I could give that we're not going to hit 12 is right here at 14,000. So let's just say that the other likely scenario is we're going to draw this back down to about 14,000 and say that that's the more likely scenario. Now, if that goes there, then this is probably the next step a couple of days out here. Then when it finally breaks that 12,000 support, then the next trend line is 10,000. So now the argument could be made like, why is it not going to 10 right away? Because there's a lot of people have been holding on to 10,000 as the line. Well, the reason is because it's been a trend line right here that's been supported by this spot right here, by all of this right here, by these two right here, by this support right here. This is a long time trend line, so this is a big number, right? Well, that's true, but this one has hit 3 times, 4, 5 times, 6, 7, 8 times. It's had just as much activity. So this 12,000 is almost as strong as this 10,000. So there's going to be a breakdown, and the breakdown is going to be in parts, and 12,000 might catch it. 10,000 might catch it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here, and we'll see how the market holds up. Now, the other part is the CPI data gets leaked on the or gets released on the 12th of January. Now that's the week of the 16th. So when this is all happening, by the way, all of it's coming to a head for what could be a positive relief, or it could finally be the capitulation moment that a lot of people have been waiting for. Now, there's enough market data that says that we've reached the bottom of this market, that if we don't go down any further, people are going to shrug it off and be like, well, it looked like it would go lower. It just didn't. But the other part is, it is entirely possible that when you really, really look at this, that is there enough pain in the market? Has that pain been experienced enough? And the answer might be just no. Because if it had, then the accumulation, which, by the way, I started looking at data, and we'll talk about that later tonight, but the data is showing that people are accumulating, and they are accumulating very well at these bottom numbers. So the Bitcoin whales, the Ethereum whales are doing a mass accumulation at this point right now. So we're starting to see it, right? Well, where is it? Well, a lot of it's OTC, so you're not really seeing it on chain. So something's got to jumpstart the on chain, the on chain analytics, because you want to attract retail and you want to get people back into crypto. Then they've got to see some positivity start happening. Then some word of mouth, then some news, then all of a sudden people are looking and saying, oh wow, crypto's starting to move. Well, we haven't seen that yet. So Until we see that, then we're not going to see that retail money coming back in. Now, the other part to that is until institutional has settled in and put themselves in a good position, which again, this could be what this all comes down to. Now, the more likely scenario, by the way, and I'm just going to be spitballing here, is we bounce and then we come back down and we hit this one more time, and then we finally break this line, and then we have a long free fall here in May, and then here in late May, and then this is the bottom right here at 10,000, and then from here, that's the end of the bear market, and that takes us to May and June. Now, when I say that that's the end of the bear market, I don't mean that the pain is over with, because you still have to attract the investors back. You still have to get people coming back in. So, but once you've achieved whatever capitulation has been needed, then the next move is one of these. You're going to start moving. You're going to use 12 as support. Then you're going to have that rocket ride back up to 16,000. Maybe you'll bounce off of it a couple times in the meantime. But then that's where you're starting to look. And now we're at February 24 on this kind of move, and you're looking at 20,000 in February of 24, and now you're approaching the halving, and that's when everything should take off like a rocket, because that's what's been happening before and what is probably predicted to happen again. And I think I saw something called Crypto Lizard. Maybe it's the Crypto Lizard. Or maybe not. I don't know. I saw something somewhere. But they were pointing out the way the trend lines are going. They were pointing out where the trend lines were going. And matter of fact, hold on one second. I'll figure this shit out. There's a certain analytic that I saw, and I got to figure out where I saw, because I just all right, I think I got it. Nah. Hold on one second. I know what I can do. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right. So here we go. All right. So this is a logarithmic version of the entire history of crypto. And what it kind of says here, for us anyway, what it kind of says here is that there's a start and it's a 4-year cycle, and that there is a bull cycle that happens every 4 years. Well, we've hit that spot, which means that whatever is going to happen is going to have to happen in the next short little period of time, because we're at the moment where everything is set to take off. So we don't have a whole lot of time before something big starts to happen. So it's that thing where you're looking at these charts, and every time, even though the patterns are kind of the same, they're not always 100% the same. The amount of time will start to draw out, and you can see right here, this was a quick bounce and then dump, and this was a quick bounce, or this was a big bounce and then dump, and then the big bounce and then dump, and it's always the same. Well, now it's the time for that next one. So we're at that spot right now. So that's the whole idea, is there has to be like that moment. So so it looks like it looks like we're in a good position. So let's we'll see how it plays out, but there was one more chart which actually helps to illustrate, and I sure as shit wish I had it. Oh well, I guess I'm just ass out. Oh well. So but as you can see, like, this puts us, and this indicates that we have reached the spot where the bull cycle is set to begin. So if it's set to begin, then the next thing is let's go, baby. Let's have it happen. So that's where the markets are, and that's why I say that if this happens, then we're set to sail, because according to analytics, we're already set to sail. Like, we're already at the start. Here was the 4-year cycle, and here we are. It's December of 22. See, right here, this is the dump. Shit. This was the start of the next bull cycle right here, December of 2018, right? Boom, it started off, and it went from 3,200 up to 16. Like, this was that relief. Then we started moving, then we tested the bottom one more time, and then boom, we were off. All right, well, that was 4 years ago. Well, December, here we are. This is 4 years later. So this is supposed to be the start. So I guess that's what they're saying. Also, Ethereum liquidity staking governance tokens are rallying, and here's why. Governance tokens of top liquidity staking platforms are rallying in the charts. At press time, Lido is up 8.1%, Rocket Pool 8.7%, and Stakewise is up 67%. Development comes as investors anticipate Ethereum's Shanghai upgrade scheduled for March. It was announced in December that the network's upcoming hard fork or backward incompatible upgrade will allow withdrawals of Ether invested in the Beacon chain since December of 2020. Over 40% of the total ETH deposits are staked utilizing liquid staking protocols. Dune Analytics reported that 15.7 million Ethereum are presently staked across several platforms. Will there be a massive sell-off after Ethereum's Shanghai upgrade? The Shanghai upgrade provides investors with the first chance to release their Ethereum. Some of the ETH has been staked since 2020. After 2 years, more than 15.5 million ETH worth around 19 billion is currently locked at press time. Staked Ethereum. And by the way, where the hell is Modi Kine? Modi, are you in here? This is exactly why staking matters, by the way. So 15.5 million Ethereum worth around 19 billion were locked up since 2020, right? And if you go look at the Ethereum price in 2020, and we're going to go back here to Ethereum in 2020 was trading for $3 or $4 or $500, right? Went all the way up to a high of 48.67, even though it's trading right now at 1301, still up 3x, 4x from where it was when the staking started happening. I assume the staking started happening right here because that's when you started to see the run, right? So I assume the staking happened somewhere in the neighborhood of this. Don't quote me on that, but that's $200, $250. So you're up 6x on all of your staking that you did during that period of time. If you staked $1 million, it's $6 million right now. You know what I mean? Like to cash out with. It doesn't even matter all this stuff up here. What happens is where you bought in, and these guys bought into a great position, and some of this going all the way down to $187, $80.60. Let's get that off of there. $90 was the low in 2020 for Ethereum. So if you bought a bunch of Ethereum at $90 or $100 in 2020, you're about to get it out, and that's a 10 or 12x at today's price, not even at a future price. So yeah, so that's probably we're gonna see some Ethereum flooding the market. But this is why this kind of a run right here, this is why all of that staking matters. And especially for something like BRL, which is burning tokens, as long as it creates some uses, as long as it creates some volume, as long as it creates cash for the people who are staking, as long as it creates value for the stakeholders during this whole process, then guess what? It's going to go crazy. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm hoping for good things to happen, man. But I mean, that's what you can see right there. Like that's why staking is so important, because when you have 76% of your people staking, then that means that the remaining supply, hopefully, that gets a little bit busy, and there starts to be a run on that, and there's a push on that price action. So if that happens, then to the moon we go, So, but yeah, there's a possibility some crazy shit going on, and we're only in January, so we've got until March before Shanghai. I wanted to point out this though, because we got to start getting towards the end here. Final Fantasy creator Square Enix committed to blockchain despite volatile year. I hope that we're about to see a Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy rumblings. Renewed concerns NFTs may be integrated into Final Fantasy 16, which is scheduled for release in June. Now, when I say gamers are idiots, I don't mean to say that gamers are idiots, but everything that you buy in a game is potentially an NFT anyway. Just because it's not on the blockchain is why it's not an NFT. But every potion, everything in a game could be an NFT. And that's just a way of accounting and using a ledger for a transaction. This is one of the craziest things that any bunch of mouth-breathing knuckleheads. Wait a minute, I said that they were not idiots. I said gamers are not idiots. Surely they know better, right? Like, this is the dumbest thing. Look, there's a lot of rumbling right now. There really is a lot of rumbling right now from people who don't like the fact that people are getting into NFTs because it's going to mess with their video game. You moron. What it's going to mess with is nothing. Like, you don't even have to look at it in your wallet because, for the gameplay purpose, the game includes a default wallet that's created for you. You never even see the hashtag. You never even know what the hash is for your wallet. You don't know what your wallet address is. You don't know anything about that. And then all the NFTs and everything that are done inside that wallet, and you never see it, right? And it's still an NFT. It's still a wallet. It's still all happening within there, and it's still happening on the blockchain. So there it is, right? It's crazy to think that people are not understanding that. Like, that's just bonkers to me. Also, let's move on here. We already covered that. This got crazy right here. Yesterday, Cameron Winklevoss issued a letter to Barry Silbert, which he would open up to the entire world by posting on Twitter. And it basically says, Barry, today marks 47 days since Genesis halted withdrawals. I'm writing on behalf of more than 340,000 earned users who are looking for answers. These users aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're real people. A single mom who lent her son's education money to you, a father who lent his son's bar mitzvah money to you, a husband and wife who lent their life savings to you. And I like the fact that he went with Barry Silbert, and then he said that a father who lent his son's bar mitzvah money to you. So, and they've been avoiding him, according to Cameron Winklevoss, who, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? But according to him, they've been trying to work something out for a while, and then Barry Silbert jumps in and says, and the whole course here, it says, owes Genesis $1.675 billion. This is the money that Genesis owes to earn users and other creditors. You took his money. You took this money, the money of school teachers, right? And it says DCG did not borrow $1.675 billion from Genesis. That's not what he said. So Barry ding dong, this unfucking believable, right? This is DCG has never missed an internet payment to Genesis and is currently on all loans outstanding. The next loan maturity is May of 2023. DCG delivered to Genesis and your advisors a proposal on December 29 and has not received a response. There you go again. Stop trying to pretend you and DCG are innocent bystanders and had nothing to do with creating this meth. It's completely disingenuous. So how does DCG owe Genesis $1.675 billion if it didn't borrow money? Oh, right. That promissory note. It's crazy. And then even Peter Schiff comes in. In your case, customers lost access to the funds due to the liquidity or insolvency issue of a private creditor. In the case of my bank, customers have been denied access to their funds for over 6 months by government, despite every penny being in cash ready to return to their customers. And it goes on, and a whole bunch of economists are in here just busting people up over this. For the too long didn't read people, DCG owes $1.6 billion to 340,000 retail users. Barry's refusing to meet and find solutions. DCG users used user funds to speculate on risky trades, and DCG worked to resolve this problem by the 8th of January. Don't know what's due on. I don't know what's going on. I think there's a payment due on January 8th, which is why this is the thing. But you can see here, Like, these guys are just going on and on. And look, if you haven't already, go to Cameron Winklevoss. It is at Cameron on Twitter, and just read through it. Like, it's just fascinating. It's like a measuring contest between a bunch of nerds over who's got the smallest one. You know what I mean? So Dow Jones is up 200 points, 215 on the day now. So we're off to a little bit of a good start. ETH is starting to move. Bitcoin starting to move. A little bit of upside momentum, it looks like. The total market cap still down, but let's get on this hourly, and you can look at the hourly. You can see that we've been accumulating for the last 24, 48 hours since, look, this was the sell-off. Now, I know I don't, look, if you guys don't know this, here's a lesson. The end of every year, this is what happens. And the reason it happens is because you take your losses and you sell things at a loss in order to write them off as taxable, as tax losses. So that way, when you file your tax return, you're saving yourself some money. It's a tax thing. Then you see a little bit of sideways action and the momentum goes back upwards. And it's going to go upward probably through tomorrow. And then we'll start to see it kind of regulate itself back down. Probably in this area again. And we're not quite there yet, but it'll probably be right around there. So we'll probably be dead even with where we were before. Finally, let's get over here. Volt is trading at 83.03. Volt experienced the same thing. And then, you got Chadwick von Winklehead that's doing the same thing, selling 21 ETH. I can't imagine. It just has to be somebody who's old, who's been here for a while. I mean, they got 1,200 left, so it's got to be like a Chad that's been here for a minute. It doesn't make any sense unless the guy just wanted to take a loss. But you saw that same thing happen over here, where people were just taking a big loss on their Volt because, again, that's kind of what you do when you're ending the year. So BRL, now you didn't see that because BRL is pretty new. So you're not going to see the same thing, even though you did see like this little bit of a movement downward. This came after the first of the month. So, but this is kind of a new project. Still not there, Modi, by the way. I'm watching it. But same thing with Saitama. Saitama was having a nice little move. Then, of course, the end of the year, and you get this downward pressure. Lillian, same way. So Lillian still doesn't have the thing. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're tearing down a building and have been tearing down buildings. So, yeah, there's forklifts in the background as they can. And it's actually just cranes as they're pulling stuff and tearing down buildings and then filling in holes to destroy where the building used to be. I think they're going to make it a park or something like that. Who knows? Or a parking lot. I don't know at this point. WAGME trading at 28.40. I mean, guys, at some point, it's a video game. You got to release your video game. You know what I mean? It continues to move down. I don't want to say that people are losing faith in it because it's still bouncing off. It's using its support line. So you're still fine. And Terra down 17% because, of course, we got to make the payroll. So, listen, I don't know what to say at this point on Terrarium. At some point this turns around, but right now you're just basically your payroll for an organization, your investment. And I mean, you can like it, you can not like it. I have my opinion about it. I don't like it because nobody told us. I think this is entirely disrespectful to every investor that trusted these guys. This is not how you do business. You tell people, you know what I mean? Now, if you don't want to tell people, and the reason you don't want to tell people is because you don't want them to sell because you need their money, that's bullshit, right? So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. Terra should be fine in the long run. Terrarium's going to be fine in the long run. But yeah, you're still someone's payroll at this point, and it's not a great look. Is all I can say. It's just not a great look. So, but yeah, payroll was due. So there we are. And as far as Phantom, all right. So I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn on this or not, but I'll tell you what I know. So the work was almost done on the app, and the Dev Pro, which was the team that did the programming, they were almost done with it, and then they got into a dispute because they were trying to overbill Phantom. And say what you will about Phantom, Phantom doesn't have a ton of money. They can't use all of their money and then not have any money for marketing. They have to be shrewd about it. And remember, when everybody gave their Ethereum, that Ethereum was worth like $3,000 or $3,500. Well, it's not worth that anymore. So, if they collected $1 million or $1.5 million, that money went down because it was stored in Ethereum. And say what you will about that, but it probably should have been stable, used as stable at any point. But they only have several $100,000. Like you have to be able to market and launch this thing and get it finished. So now they've offered a settlement, and they're waiting to see if it's going to be accepted. And if it's accepted, then we'll see a version 2 launch pretty shortly, and then we'll see the release of the app coming, right on the heels of that. So Phantom, I think, is just kind of it's kind of in that wait and see mode, but it's not dead. It's just dormant until we get this thing done with Dev Pro, and it might be that Dev Pro takes it and moves on very, very shortly. So, and listen, they weren't putting in real work anyway, so they were trying to overbill with engineers and shit when they hadn't even started to build the app. So a lot of that argument came from that. So anyway, I gotta go. I gotta go take that ride right now. So they didn't even know how to negotiate a contract properly. Why do they come here? Dude. Yeah, call it what you will. Call it exactly what you will. Sure. Anyway, it's not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I'm always right. And Jesus fucking Christ. Look, if you're going to cry to yourself. Jesus Christ. Nobody wants to hear you bitching in some kind of live stream. Grow up. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you for bedtime.